All right, hey Vikings fans, welcome in to another episode of the Skol Hop. I'm Evan.
And I'm Austin.
We're just a couple of dudes from Iowa. We like drinking beer and talking about the Vikings.
Yeah, we do, and it's because of the Vikings that we both had to spin the wheel of purple punishment, which was awful.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a sticky situation. We'll just leave it at that for now. But we also had an appropriately named beer in light of the Vikings loss.
Yep, and we spent a good amount of time hashing out that awful Vikings loss to the Ravens, which was just a really frustrating game.
Yeah, but with a little bit of optimism, we looked ahead to the Vikings hosting the Bears this next week. Hopefully that turns out better.
Yep, and we might have friend of the show Forrest on next week. Stay tuned for that one. But until then,
that would be great.
Grab a cold one and join us for episode 113 of the Skol Hop.
Skol.
Skol.
All right, we're going to take just a minute to give a shout out to That's Badass Wood Art. We've been given the opportunity to partner with them. They create awesome custom pieces of wood art. Austin is holding up one right now if you're watching us on YouTube or Spotify video. And you're holding up a one that just says Skol, and then it's got a little outline of the state of Minnesota.
Yeah, it's probably their most popular.
In the O, yeah. It's a cool one. But they do a lot of other kind of stock designs, and then they do anything custom as well. So if you're looking to purchase a piece of wood art, maybe for the man cave, maybe for some home decor somewhere else, go to their website. It's that'sbadasswoodart.com. And if you enter in our code SKOLHOP, SKOLHOP, all caps, you'll save 10% on any and all orders. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Pretty sweet. Let us know if you have checked out any other stuff, or if you've ordered through our code. That'd be cool to know if you've ordered anything. Let us know what you think of it too.
Yeah, and we'll make sure they're linked down below as well in the description.
All right, well, we'll just get to it. Last week we had the preseason prediction that the Vikings would beat the Ravens, and of course the Vikings lost to the Ravens.
Yes, they did.
Technically a one-score game. Technically 8 points.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
I have some thoughts.
But because of that, we both have to spin the wheel. So I think we just get it over with.
All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Here we go. We will be... Oh, how are we going to do this?
I don't even know what this one really is.
So this one is, we decided...
It's called Fumble Rooski.
We had to have hands on a football the whole time.
Do you have another
I have
football?
Another football.
All right. I was going to say, I do have the youth football with the Vikings logo on it. Dude, you need to put some more air in this thing.
Well, it's been sitting here for since we started this thing.
It's pretty a little dusty.
Yeah.
All right, so we got to keep our hands on a football the entire episode.
We do have tape.
Oh, man.
Do we want to tape it?
Do we think we should?
I could tape it to one hand.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. Let's
I just looked at the tape and I remembered that was the original intent.
Yep.
So, all right, I'm going to need you to help me here.
Yep. All right, we're going to tape footballs a la the Edward 40 hands to our hands.
Edward 40 hands.
You got it there? You got enough nails?
Yeah.
Evan and I are both notorious fingernail biters. So.
I'm going to hold it with my left hand because I'll need my right hand for other things.
Is that okay?
Yep. I'll just wrap it up real good.
I hope you don't have too much knuckle hair there.
Oh, yeah, it's not going to feel great taking this off.
Right.
We're also going to have to pour our beers one-handed. That'll be fun. We've done that before, though.
All right. How do you feel? I've probably wrapped around,
I think that's good.
I don't know, five or so times.
I have no idea how I'm going to do this to you now.
Oh, no.
All right.
We've already got it started here. So,
all right. We'll see
Here,
what I can
I'll
do.
get it started.
And then I'll come down, turn around. Can you hold it on your hand?
Yeah, there we go.
Is that too tight?
No, we're good. Oh, I didn't even ask you. Did I do it too tight for you?
I mean, it's tight, but it's not like cutting off my circulation.
All right, what do you think? Is that good?
Want me to rip it?
Oh, there we go. All right, so if you're watching, you can see us with some.
We both went with our left hands.
Yeah.
The football is like dented because it's lacking air pressure right now.
Yeah, mine is. All right, well, this is an interesting one. We will have to probably mention it a few times why our hands are taped up in case people join at different times. But yeah, this this is a more interesting one. Skol. We should Skol it up.
Skol. All right, well, let's get to the beer. I picked this beer. I've seen this on the shelf a few times, and I picked it because I thought the title was appropriate.
Yeah.
It's called Bummer City, and I felt like Bummer City really just encapsulates how we're feeling about the Vikings right now. I mean, maybe it's not like we're completely, giving up on this team.
We'll talk our thoughts on that, but
the game against the Ravens was a bummer.
It massive was a bummer.
So
yeah, this actual, I'm not sure who really makes this.
I think it's a collaboration.
Yeah, it's got Five Cities logo on it. Says brewed and canned at Back Pocket Brewing in Coralville, Iowa, which, fun fact, Back Pocket is now a part of Single Speed.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot of layers to this beer.
There's a lot of movement happening right now in Iowa breweries.
Yeah.
There's like Seven Hills is taking over is Dimensional taking over? Which one? There's
Seven Hills has, I believe, purchased Great Revivalist.
Great Revivalist, that's what it is.
Which, if you're a Skol Hot viewer of long time here, we visited the Great Revivalist brewery in Clinton, Iowa. Clinton, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Clinton. It's in an old church.
Yeah, where they refabbed an old church there. But that's another brewery. This one, Bummer City, collabed with Five Cities and potentially Back Pocket. I've had this one before.
Have you?
At least once. And I've been to one of the places that serves this on tap, which there's probably a few, but one of the main ones, Devon's Complaint Department.
Oh, yep.
In Davenport, Iowa. From what I remember, it's a really good, just regular light lager.
Yeah, 4.2%. Pretty easy drinking and appropriately named.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Skol.
Skol. I have to cross over. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, to me it's a much higher quality Bud Light. Just a really, really solid light lager. Really good color, good head retention for a light lager. 4.2, so you could probably throw back a couple 13, 14 of those and wake up with a slight headache the next day, but not be doing too bad. So
we're not going to drink that many tonight.
Yeah, maybe just 10 or 12.
It's a good beer, though. I like it. Let's talk about this game.
Yeah.
I will be honest, I didn't really get to watch much of it. It's been frustrating in this little, far eastern slice of Iowa. They haven't broadcast too many Vikings games, and that happens a lot where we're just on the edge of Packers and Bears markets, and so they opt to show those games over the Vikings games. And I don't have an NFL Sunday ticket subscription like you do, so I don't have access to those. And you were gone, so I would have called you, but I was like, well, no, he's probably not home. Maybe I should have just broken into your house.
Maybe. I mean, my mother-in-law was there with the kids, so I was gone. I was on an airplane, and luckily, the smallest of silver linings with all the recent air traffic delays and everything pretty much meant that I was sitting on a tarmac I should have taken off and missed the entire fourth quarter, but I was sitting on the tarmac for the whole fourth quarter, so I got to see most of it. And I can say the Vikings made it exciting a little bit towards the end of the fourth quarter, or towards the end of the game.
Were you kicking the seat of the guy in front of you? Yeah!
Well, funny enough, the guy in front of me for that part of the journey there was friend of the show Forrest. But
That's
no, I
nice.
wasn't kicking his seat. But I was very frustrated. I did get to see JJ McCarthy throw his only touchdown of the game to Jalen Naylor.
Yep, that was nice.
I also saw the failed 2-point conversion, which you mentioned before we started recording. Didn't really make sense for them to attempt the 2-pointer. But yeah, I did get to see a lot of it, and it was still really frustrating. A lot of penalties. A lot
Terrible.
of interesting play calling, decision making, and we'll hash all that out there. But you're right. This area, we're notorious for being like the last county that doesn't get the Vikings game. Traditionally,
Yeah,
it's
any
the Bears or the
farther
Packers.
west you get from where we live, you're probably going to get the Vikings game. But right where we are, it's going to be Packers and Bears before it's Vikings. Unless the Packers and Bears are either on a bye or playing like one of the primetime game.
Yep.
But so anyways, all that to say, I didn't get to see it all happen live. So like the progression of everything and kind of how everything built up to all of the stuff that ended up happening. I'm a little murky on the details, but I know the big stuff. I followed it enough to really understand. Like I did get to see there was that one play that turned out to work out pretty well. JJ McCarthy flipped it over to Jefferson, who then threw it back to JJ, and JJ ran for, I don't know.
Well, they
10,
needed
15
about
yards.
10 yards, and JJ got 8 or 9.
Right.
And that was on a third down, so they punted it away right after that. So
It was cool though. It was a cool play. Anyways.
Yep, and that was about the extent of Justin Jefferson's highlights during the game. Before we get too deep, let's dive into roses and thorns here, Ev. What's your rose from this game?
I thought the defense looked sharp at the beginning of the game, especially in the first half, first and second quarter. They held the Ravens to 4 field goals. And I was playing against Lamar Jackson in fantasy football, and I'm just like, wow. At halftime, thinking to myself, wow, they held him to be pretty ineffective.
Yeah.
I mean, their offense couldn't get much going, and when they did, they couldn't get close enough to score. So to hold them to field goals, I thought was really, really good. And I think it just proves that this defense is still kind of the heart and soul of this team, and the offense is still continuing to figure out its identity, especially with this kind of back and forth quarterback situation that we've had, and the offensive line woes that they've had. So, no, I liked the defense. I would give a rose to the defense. I thought they looked good.
Just statistically, the Vikings defense gave up 1 passing touchdown to Mark Andrews and 1 rushing touchdown to Justice Hill, which was a 1-yard rush. And as far as scoring, the only other scores were field goals, 4 field goals. So, I mean, 2 touchdowns to Lamar Jackson,
Derrick Henry,
that offense, who
Zay
they're healthy
Flowers,
now. I think
Mark
they're
Andrews.
relatively healthy.
Yeah. They had 0 players on their injury report.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, they're notoriously healthy. But yeah, you can't be too mad about the Vikings defense giving up only 27 points to that offense, especially when you consider the Ravens multiple times had very short fields. One time, right at the second half, the Viking, I think it was the one of the mid-game kick returns, Miles Price fumbled the ball and handed the Ravens offense the ball right back. So you can't be too mad about the Vikings defense. So yeah, I agree. That's a good rose.
What about yours?
Mine is that even after the ups and downs and frustrations of the game, they still were technically in the game until the very end. There was even a point, in the third quarter where it's like, you might as well just turn it off now because this game is over. But after that, the Vikings still gave themselves a chance and they were still fighting, and it would have been a really good comeback, but not a Minneapolis miracle. It would have been one that we remembered for a while if they came back and tied it at the end. But still, they put themselves in the ability to be able to make it a competitive game. Unfortunately, there were a lot of mishaps that happened, and a lot of them were self-inflicted. No, I'm not going to be the guy that's like, oh, the Vikings lost and they beat themselves. Like, the Ravens are a good team too. Like, they They did well where they were supposed to, and the Ravens legitimately won that game. But the Vikings didn't make it easy on themselves with the penalties and the turnovers and
there's
some of
definitely
the coaching decisions.
Definitely merit to the penalties, the turnovers, right? Like,
Yep.
you can't beat yourself in that way and then expect to win.
Yep. But yeah, my rose is that they still had a chance down to the bitter end.
Yeah.
And I guess while I'm talking it, my thorn is all of those penalties and turnovers and the batted down passes at the line. I think there were five passes.
Multiple times. And I saw a video today, and I think KOC addressed this in his press conference, that Jordan Addison was like wide open on a couple of those, and those would have been like huge chunk plays, maybe even potentially scoring plays, had they not been batted down. So, I mean, the defensive line for the Ravens was playing really well.
Oh, yeah. And we've seen it now a few games of Justin Jefferson, or JJ's career. They figured out something. He has had many batted down passes right at the line of scrimmage. There was one where I couldn't believe, in this game against the Ravens, I couldn't believe he tried to throw the ball because the defender was very, very clearly like right in his face, arms up, like he would have had to have the most insane trick play to go through a defender's arms, not hit his helmet. Like, I don't know if it's one of those where we have an issue here, or it's just there's been enough fluke things that have happened all in a row that we'll stop talking about and see less and less here. But so far in JJ's career, when he's been on the field, batted down passes has been an issue. And that can ruin a game. That's an instant incomplete pass, no matter what the defense is doing, or the defenders in the backfield are doing.
And could be a turnover. I mean, it could turn into a reception. It could be tipped and someone else catches it. Or sometimes, like we saw Andrew Van Ginkel take 2 of those back to the house last season as a Viking. So, yeah, I definitely agree with you. Turnovers, penalties, those batted down passes at the line, those made the game really tough to watch, right? We've already mentioned this. Actually, I think this is going to end up being a thorn. I think the longer this is on, the worse this punishment gets.
This football, yeah, my hand's starting to hurt a little bit.
Yeah, and
it's
I think
tight.
So if you're just listening, we taped footballs to our hands. That's our punishment for today.
Yeah. Fumble Rooski was the name of this punishment.
And I think in addition to just like my hand being stuck in like a claw-like fashion for a week, I'm probably going to get a rash from the adhesive on this tape.
This is like painter's tape, or like,
I don't even know. It's like vinyl.
Stage tape.
It's like vinyl tape, I think.
It's very similar to
kind of
electrical
tape, but it's red.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's a thorn in and of itself. But in addition to that, I think my thorn is kind of a combination of the really strange demeanor of Justin Jefferson as well as KOC. And I just wonder if both of them are okay, right? Like, you kind of almost wonder, like, do they just need a hug, right? Like, do you just need to track them down in the tunnels of US Bank Stadium and just be like, bring it in, man. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's okay, right? Like, Justin Jefferson did not look like himself at all. There was that one interception that JJ McCarthy threw that I don't think should be credited to him, because Justin Jefferson tripped on the foot of the defender, fell over and tumbled, and the defender had an easy interception. And then Justin Jefferson got up, and they kind of played this little cat and mouse game, and Jefferson made no effort to track him down and make the tackle to end the play. And the guy ended up getting...
Yeah, it was Marlon Humphrey. He got like 20-something yards of interception return yards there from that.
So that was... And I think a lot of people are talking about that today, like, oh, he wants out. He's ready to be done in Minnesota. He's frustrated. He's whatever. And I don't think... We're not going to go to those extremes on this podcast.
Yeah. not right now. I mean,
other
string together
might.
5, 6, 7 of these kinds of games, then maybe it's like, dude, what are we doing?
But even in his post-game presser, he was very professional. He was
Jefferson,
Justin Jefferson, very professional, very accountable, right? Like, yeah, there's no excuse, and he didn't pin the blame on JJ McCarthy. He didn't say. I think he did make some comment about like how the balls weren't finding his hands.
Yeah,
but I don't think
was just a phrase, though.
I don't think that was like. I think some people are definitely leaning into that and saying, "Oh, he's really, he hates JJ McCarthy. He wants to get." Released or trade, like the trade deadline's over, but he wants to, demand a trade in the offseason, blah, 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 whatever.
This is 7 days after the Vikings beat one of the contenders of the NFC and definitely probably the best team in the NFC North, the Lions.
Yep.
I mean, everybody's allowed to have an off day. Justin Jefferson almost never has had an off day on the field for sure.
And if he has an off day, it's not because of his off day. It's because he's been double and triple teamed to the point where they can't even throw the ball in his direction. And one of his teammates then consequently has a huge day.
Yeah, which kind of happened. Jalen Naylor
had a great day.
His best pro day.
Yeah.
He's never had as many receiving yards as he did, 124. I think Dustin Baker, I was reading one of his articles. Dustin Baker said Naylor's previous high in a game is like 83 or 88 yards, and that was in like garbage time against the Packers a couple of years ago when the Packers were blowing the Vikings out. But yeah, I think everybody's allowed to have an off day. Justin Jefferson is human too, and he didn't even come out, like you said, he didn't even come out and say, yeah, I hate this. I really wish JJ would have thrown a better ball. Like, he made that one phrase where he said, yeah, the balls just weren't finding my hand. That's kind of like a golfer saying, yeah, the ball just wasn't it wasn't dropping in the hole. Like, right. I don't think that was, I really don't think that comment, because I heard him say it too, and I heard the question, and I saw Justin Jefferson's like tone and, body language and tone of voice. It didn't sound like he was saying like, yeah, quarterback didn't hit me the right way, like he wasn't saying that. I was just like, yeah.
And it did not seem to me like he was making a dig at JJ McCarthy. It just seemed like I think he was kind of at a loss too. Like that's just kind of the way the game played out, right? And he also owned it. Like, we've got to get better and we've got to work on those things. And I think he made a comment about like, make it so that it's automatic on Sunday. Like, we gotta just gotta go back and grind in practice this week, and that way when we show up next Sunday, it's just it clicks. It's automatic, right? And it takes time, right? The chemistry between a quarterback and a wide receiver takes time, and Justin Jefferson has pretty much always, other than when somebody's been hurt, been the beneficiary of pretty talented quarterback play.
Yeah. Yeah,
like
not talented or lightning in a bottle real quick quarterback play.
Yeah, but I mean, like, and not MVP level quarterback play, but like Kirk Cousins, really good, and was able to put the ball where Justin Jefferson could go get it. And that elevated, I think, Justin Jefferson's career to have Kirk Cousins throwing the ball to him in the early part of his career. And yeah, lightning in a bottle, right? The Nick Mullins, the Pastronaut, but then
Sam Darnold last year.
But Sam Darnold isn't lightning in a bottle. Sam Darnold is proving this year that he's an MVP caliber quarterback and playing really lights out. He only scored me 4 points in fantasy football, which I don't know how that happens when your team scores 44 points and you're up 35-7 at halftime.
That's insane.
I don't know how that happens. He did throw an interception, but he only scored 4 points.
Was it a running day? I guess I didn't pay attention to their game there.
I didn't really watch that game either. I was just following his score. But I digress. Justin Jefferson has always been the beneficiary of pretty solid quarterback play. And so right now we're seeing Justin Jefferson with, I will still call JJ McCarthy a rookie quarterback. He's a redshirt
essentially
rookie.
Yes.
He's a redshirt rookie quarterback. He's going through,
as far as experience goes, yeah.
He's going through things as though he were a rookie, and Justin Jefferson's never had to deal with that. So he's having to figure stuff out just like JJ McCarthy is. And I'm confident that they'll get it figured out. My other thorn, though, is the play calling. And I mentioned one thing that I'm going to just recap and rehash really quick. You had alluded to it already, but you said there was something more egregious in the play calling that you wanted to talk about. So I'm interested to hear what you have to say. But
man.
You said that, right?
Yeah, I guess it's just the lack of leaning on the running game.
Okay. Yeah.
When they did rush the ball, for the most part, it went really well for them. Aaron Jones had 9 rushes for 47 yards. It's 5.2 average. He had what I think the only rushing touchdown. Jordan Mason, not as electric, but 4 rushes for 25 yards, actually a higher average, 6.3. And JJ McCarthy, he did have like a 26-yard rush in the final like game-ending drive when they were trying to score a touchdown with no timeouts left, which kind of skewed his rushing totals. But he did lead the team, 5 carries for 48 yards. So if you take out that 26-yard rush, it's still 94 rushing yards outside of that 26-yard rush on 17 carries and a touchdown. So like the rushing game, there were at least statistically opportunities, but Kevin O'Connell refused to go there. Now, granted, there were also many times where the play would be 2nd and 5 and then false start.
Yep.
So now it's instant 2nd and 10, and if you did have a rush call planned, maybe that 10 yards changes your play call a little bit. And there were 8 false starts. I think Brian O'Neill had 3 of them, and he's one of the better right tackles in the league. He's a veteran dude. You shouldn't have false starts. He shouldn't have any false starts.
He had a bad day.
I didn't see the quote, but I think somebody said, I think it might have even been Aaron Jones, said something to the tune of maybe the Ravens were like trying to quietly, say hut, like trying to quietly yell out, which again, if they had done that, would be a penalty. Everything I've seen from the Vikings coaches and even the Ravens, like that probably wasn't actually happening. I don't think that was really happening. Referees usually call that pretty quick, but I mean, that goes hand in hand. The rushing game goes hand in hand with the penalties, but it does seem weird. Kevin O'Connell does seem to be not playing his best game as a coach, not calling the correct plays or the things that should be working when they should be calling those things. So his play calling is a little suspect lately.
Yeah, and I think that is only exemplified in just kind of, it all culminated in that late game decision to go for 2 when they were down 13-27. They were down 2 touchdowns, 14 points. And I think you had said when I was recapping this before we started recording that when you're down 15, you go for 2 in that situation. But if you're down 14, I think you go for 1, get yourself within 7 points, and give yourself an opportunity to, at the very least, tie the game, right? And then you play for overtime, and then you see what happens. And hopefully maybe you get to make the decision in overtime, if you're going to get the ball or not. You can put the ball in the hands of your offense if that's what you want, or you can rely on your defense to go out and get a stop if that's right. There's a whole bunch of scenarios that could play out that way. But when he went for 1 in that, or when he went for 2 in that moment, I just thought to myself, like, what are you doing? And I was confirmed by some people on Twitter, and some people that I think we would trust, that are like, no, you don't go for 2 in that situation. You go for 1, and you give yourself an opportunity to tie it and play for overtime.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And when you mentioned that earlier, I kind of went back to, there were more. That was one of the egregious decisions, but for me personally, there were more egregious decisions throughout the game that would have made that, going for 2 not even a thing you think about.
Well, let's not forget that 2-point conversion play was a passing play, and a 2-point conversion is basically a 4th and goal situation, right? Yeah. It's a do or die. You have to go 2 yards, and when the Vikings had to go 2 yards to convert anything all day, what play did they opt for?
A passing
play. And that also doesn't make sense. Like, you've got teams across the league like the Lions and the Eagles who are pushing their way to first downs on 4th and 1, 4th and 1.5.
Yeah.
I think even sometimes 4th and 2, like, they're going for it and they're successful because they know that they can bully their way across the line to gain and get that first down. And you're right. Kevin O'Connell is scared to run the ball right now.
It just seems like it, but
and it's frustrating because you have two running backs. Aaron Jones is back and healthy and scoring, and being productive. Jordan Mason, he's been like oddly quiet the last couple of games since Aaron Jones came back, which I also think is problematic because we brought him to Minnesota to be this tandem, Sonic and Knuckles type of thing like they have in Detroit, right? Like that's why he was brought to Minnesota, was to do all that. So I don't know. It's a struggle right now, and I hope KOC can get it figured out. I hope the offense can get it figured out, because I think if the offense really gets it locked in and figured out, the defense is fine. I'm not worried about the defense at all. And this can be a very good team.
Oh, yeah.
If they figure that out.
Absolutely. And if you broaden out, just look at the big picture of this Vikings-Ravens game. 27-19, Ravens won, but the Vikings defense didn't look awful. If the offense had just succeeded 2, 3, 4 more times in pivotal points of that game, 1, maybe they score points. 2, maybe the Ravens have less opportunities to score points. So, I don't think in this game it didn't feel like, even with all the penalties, even with the play calling questions and the up and down play from your young, not rookie, but inexperienced quarterback, even with all of that, to go back to my Rose, that they still had a chance at the end, it didn't seem like they were on an entirely different playing field than the Ravens. We've seen games for the Vikings, specifically, where, throughout our Vikings fanhood, where it's like, man, this is devastating, because it feels like the Vikings aren't even on the same level as the other team. Like we've seen it. I mean, we saw it against the Chargers. It's like, the Vikings don't even seem like they have the same caliber of coaches, players. Like, it seems like they're light years behind this player. We've seen those games throughout the years. This didn't feel like one of those games. It felt like if this same game happened 10 times in a row, it would probably be, if not, 50-50, maybe one team would win 6 or 7 times rather than a consistent blowout every time. It felt like the Vikings very much had a chance in this game. And coulda, shoulda, woulda. You can never take away the penalties. You can never take away the turnovers, the kickoff fumbles, which he fumbled twice in a row. Miles Price did, which is crazy because outside of that, I just mentioned it last week.
Yeah.
Miles Price doesn't give you that feeling in the pit of your stomach.
Yep.
Like, oh, he's going to fumble. I literally said that last week.
Well, he's now officially earned that title.
Yeah.
He's got the oh crap title.
The Butterfingers. But, you can't take all that away, but it's just those few things that turn this into an 8-point loss for the Vikings. You tighten those up, you tweak it. This loss doesn't give me the feeling that, hey, this season is over. You might get that if you look at the schedule and your record, but as far as play on the field, this didn't feel like a team that was totally lost all game. Some plays, not all game.
Who gets your game ball? Not the ones taped to our hands, but the proverbial game ball. Who played the best, in your opinion?
Yeah, so I think I took the easy one.
You did, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Somebody had to.
To give you listeners a peek behind the scenes, more often than not, I kind of put together the outline, and then as I'm putting it together, I'm the first one that gets to answer these questions about game balls and roses and thorns. But my game ball, in a loss, you got to look for who performed the best, and I think Jalen Naylor, 124 yards. How many catches did he have? 5 catches. Not sure how many targets. 6 targets, and a touchdown. De facto game ball winner right there. That's his best game as a pro. Unfortunately, it happened in a loss.
Yeah. I'm giving mine to Blake Cashman, and he led the team in tackles, and it was his 3rd straight game with 10-plus tackles.
Yeah.
And
he's outstanding.
I think he's like 2nd in the league right now in like that streak of 10 plus tackle games. I think he's at the top of the league or near the top of the league. with the most games stacked on top of each other. So obviously that's not just one game, it's multiple games. But since he's been back from injury, right, this defense has really come into form.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Like, and we've noticed that when he's on the field, this defense looks different. It was, Ivan Pace Jr. trying to call the plays, and he looked lost. And the defense got bulldozed by like the Falcons in the second game of the season with him not on the field, with Cashman not on the field,
and Van Ginkel was out too,
and Van Ginkel as well. So to get him back is huge, and to see these 3 straight games with 10 plus tackles is big. And that connects to my Rose, right? The defense looked sharp at the start, and I think he's largely to credit for that. So he gets my game ball.
Yeah, I think both of those, you can only point out so many good performances in a loss, but yeah, both of those are definitely deserving. For a minute, I thought about Will Reichard as well. He just keeps being consistent.
Yep. Will to throw.
He did get converted 2 field goals, 49-yard long, and then an extra point on that 1 touchdown. He's just continuing to be automatic, and some Vikings fans would say that this year he's perfect if you take away the obstructions that hit his ball when he kicked it, which, yeah, whether or not you believe it or not, if he actually hit the wire, or if the wire hit his kick. But only 2 missed kicks for him this year at all, and I thought they were going to jinx him on the broadcast after it was for one of his kicks. I don't think it was after the extra point, but I think they mentioned it on the broadcast after his first field goal attempt, that he was perfect on extra points in his career. I was like, they said that. I was like, oh, well, you just jinxed it. He's going to miss one today.
It's like the proverbial Jim Nance kicks the chair over. Come on, you never do that.
Yeah. But it still held true as of right now. As a pro, Will Reichard has never missed an extra point. And it's been, this is his 3rd season.
Second season, I think. I thought he was a rookie last year.
You might be right. Let's just double check, just because we don't have Devin across the way there as a stat guy. Here we go. You're right. This is his 2nd year.
Yeah.
I bow to your Vikings knowledge there, Ev. But yeah, he's still perfect on extra points, so we'll take it.
And it's awesome to have a really reliable kicker like that, especially after the last, decade or so of Vikings kickers, where it's just been, they're great in, these meaningless games, and then you get them in these high pressure situations and they can't make a kick. I want to talk about one more thing, maybe 2 more things, before we move to the next segment. That roughing the passer call
on Dallas
Turner. Your thoughts on that? Because I saw a clip of Michael Strahan, not Michael Strahan. Who's Michael Strahan? Is it Strahan? Okay. I was like, I don't know why I second guessed myself for a second there. Strahan on one of he's with Fox, I think.
Yeah.
He was pretty critical of the officials in that moment. And just, he was a former defensive player. I think, doesn't he hold the record for sacks in a season? Or tied the record for sacks in a season?
He broke. That's the famous Brett Favre fell down for him.
Yeah. Anyways, so he knows what he's talking about, I guess, is the point I'm trying to make.
Also, really quick, I'm pretty sure
player.
Jared Allen tied him. I think
maybe that's where the tie
hold that record.
Okay,
but he broke it to begin with. Sorry.
Anyways, no, that's worth pointing out. I mean, Hall of Famer Viking Jared Allen has a tie for the record of sacks in a season. Anyways, Dallas Turner got to the backfield, got to Lamar Jackson, and I watched that play because it was on Game Day Live as I was at my parents' house, and we were just kind of hanging out, relaxing, and that play came up.
Chilling all cool.
Yeah, that. And my dad was like, well, why is that a penalty? And I'm like, because he put his body weight into the quarterback and you can't do that. And my dad was kind of confused, like, but that doesn't make any sense. Like, that's a sack. And 5 years ago, that would have been a legal hit. And I'm like, yeah, the league has changed quite a bit and they're really trying to protect the quarterback. But Michael Strahan kind of just said, like, at some point, quarterbacks play football too.
Yeah.
And we have to allow them to take hits just like all the other players do. Like if you're going to let a running back get tackled like that, then you need to let a quarterback probably get tackled like that too. And he also made the point that a guy like Dallas Turner is going to injure himself avoiding putting his full body weight into the quarterback on a play like that. And then, your defense crumbles, and offense is obviously king in the NFL, and it has been for a while. You're probably not going to have a non-quarterback MVP for a very long time.
Yeah, it would have to be an Adrian Peterson type season, which we kind of had last year with Saquon, and he still didn't win MVP.
And he still didn't win it. So, but again, in this offense-heavy league, I don't know that there should be this like hedge of protection around the quarterbacks. And I think because quarterbacks have been hit pretty hard this year, there's been some interesting quarterback injury.
Oh yeah, we could go down the list.
Turnstile of like Tua this year has dealt with more concussions. He had to sit out for a couple of games. That's affected
Lamar
the Dolphins.
Jackson for the Ravens.
Lamar Jackson,
Jaden Daniels,
JJ McCarthy for the Vikings.
Yeah, lots of quarterbacks have missed time.
Carson
Burrow.
Wentz, Joe Burrow. Yep, we go down the list. It's crazy, but I'm still a proponent of this is football, right? This is a physical contact sport, and it's kind of the ultimate, like, in today's day and age, the ultimate like warrior sport. Like you have to be a warrior. You have to go out there and regardless of what happens, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and play the game. And so I'm not a fan of this sissy ball call of, oh, well, he got one guy laid on top of him for a little too long or put too much of his body weight on him. So that was a penalty. And of course we're biased. We're Vikings fans. It was a penalty that hurt our team. But I don't know. Any sensible Ravens fan, I think, would say, yeah, it's.
So I have a few thoughts on that, on that play specifically. One, textbook, if you watch it, by the rule, the way it's written now, and the way that play played out, and how Dallas Turner did it,
it's a penalty.
Technically, yes.
Yep.
100% it's a penalty. He wrapped him up, and you could say drove him. It wasn't egregious.
Nope.
But it was him full body weight, both of them going to the ground. Dallas Turner was on him 100% and didn't, in the act of, sacking him, try to roll off. So,
and it's
1,000%, it was the way it's written, a penalty.
His youth and inexperience, I think, that really contributed to that. I think if it's a Van Ginkel or a Cashman or a Jonathan Grenard, Hargrave, any of those other guys are gonna be smart and roll over. Basically,
you'd think so. Yes,
I think.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you. Couple more things for Dallas Turner. For me, watching Dallas Turner make that play, excellent play. I love it because he did everything right as a defender except for rolling off at the last second. That's the only thing he did wrong. But we've been kind of critical. We as Vikings fans have been kind of critical so far of Dallas Turner. Granted, his on-field opportunities can be limited with Jonathan Grenard and Andrew Van Ginkel both in front of him. Which with Grenard's injury, which we haven't talked about yet, looks like he might miss a game, maybe not, or a game or two at the most, or maybe no games at all. So Dallas Turner could get a little bit more experience here this coming week against the Bears. But we've been a little critical of him. The Vikings traded a lot to get him. They traded more to get him than they did to get JJ McCarthy. And he hasn't, it's not like he's been breaking records or doing anything. So it was nice to see him make a splash and sack one of the MVP level quarterbacks of the league right now. That was good. Now I'm not going to say he didn't commit a penalty because by the book,
he did.
The way it is now, he did. And if we really want to twist it a little bit, we can only thank Anthony Barr for this and Aaron Rodgers because it was that sack that Aaron Rodgers broke his collarbone, I think.
Yep.
From Anthony Barr, that very same kind of a tackle, driving the body weight into a quarterback, changed the league how many years ago? And I'm okay with that. You shouldn't be able to drive your whole body into a quarterback like that. I'm with you on some level. They're playing football. It's not like they don't know what they're getting into. And by all means, or by everything we saw, Lamar Jackson was fine. It's not like he probably felt the hit, but it's not like he broke anything that we know of. Like he's a tough dude. But yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with the way it's written right now, because it's really only going to protect our quarterback as well as things go. But overall, I'm not mad at Dallas Turner for that play at all. I'm actually pretty jacked about that play, except for the penalty. And it led to 3 points. It's not like it was the linchpin, the one thing that we say, that ruined the game. That was the one thing. If that were the one mistake the Vikings made that actually led to a loss in that game, I'd be more critical of it. But that was one of the very many mistakes that were made. But yeah, I feel for it, because I don't know, did it statistically take away that sack from Dallas Turner?
Oh, I'm sure it had to have.
I think it did, because looking at ESPN,
I think there's only one sack, and I think it was Hargrave.
Yeah,
or Jonathan Allen. It was one of the two.
Yeah, Jonathan Allen. As far as ESPN stats go,
yeah,
he's the only one with a sack on that game. So that does suck. But yeah, it sucks, and it really stinks, because it wasn't like anybody got hurt, but you know, it is what it is, and you just got to teach him, do everything you did, just roll off the next time. Yeah. And what else have we been saying about Vikings tackling all season? Most of them have been arm tackles that
they missed.
Players like Lamar Jackson totally gets out of most of those plays. He did it a few times against the Vikings.
And Jared Goff did it last week.
Yeah. The only way you're going to make sure to get the guy down is to fully wrap him up, which Dallas Turner did.
Yep.
It's just he didn't roll off at the end, which I don't know what else you're supposed to do.
It's like the like in Friends. It's the do you remember that episode where Chandler is do you watch Friends? Did you ever watch Friends?
I've seen it all the way through, but it's been a little while.
So Chandler is dating Janice, of course, and yeah, that one, and he's struggling because when they fall asleep at night, his arm is under her. And so Ross is trying to give him some pointers on, all right, here's what you do. And they're like enacting this on the couch in the girl's apartment. He's like, all right, so you fall asleep and your arm's under her, and you gotta lean over and you gotta give her the hug, and then you gotta roll away. Right? It's the hug and roll.
Careful with your beer over
there. I know, I see it. And so they try it out, and they're like, this is kind of weird. But then Chandler tries it, and then Janice falls off the bed. He flings her off the bed.
All right, Dallas Turner, just pull a Chandler Bing.
Yeah.
Hug and roll.
I would also like to point out really quick, I know I've done this before, but it's our podcast and I can say whatever I want.
Yeah.
The Anthony Barr sack on Aaron Rodgers. I was driving in the car on the way home from some trip to Minnesota. We were coming back to Iowa. And I've said this before. I know I have. I'm just repeating it because I think it's awesome. We were listening to the Paul Allen radio broadcast, and it seemed like every 30 seconds Paul Allen wanted to remind everybody that was listening, by the way, Anthony Barr has broken Aaron Rodgers' collarbone. It was just it was so funny. And kind of like we should maybe do with these things that are taped to our hands. We haven't done a very good job of reminding people, but we have footballs taped to our left hands.
Yeah, I think
my hand is kind of going numb.
Yeah, we may have gone a little too tight with the tape on this, but it's a punishment for a reason.
Yours might be worse than mine because we were both incapacitated
I was helping you with that.
At that point.
But yeah, it could be worse, but I would definitely choose not to have these on our hands anymore. It'll be the first thing we do when we hit Skol at the end of the episode is rip these things off.
Yes.
But yeah, this is a big punishment.
I'm going to have red marks on my hand.
Which is funny because it's red tape. And I mean, not that either of us are crazy hairy dudes, but everybody's got a little bit of knuckle hair. What is this? Top of your hand hair?
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to be ripping off some hairs there too. That'll
feel
be
that. Do you remember
part of the punishment?
This is really obscure. And
Oh, no.
I think only you would remember this. I don't know that anybody else that I've ever talked to in my life would remember this. But there was a time when we were kids that I put duct tape all around my head. Do you remember that?
I do not remember
Oh,
that.
wow. Oh, I made a bandana or like a headband out of duct tape.
Why would you do that?
Because I was like 11 years old and I was an idiot. But taking that off was one of the worst things in my life.
That's like near torture. What did you do that
And I've
for?
always had relatively short hair.
Buzzed hair, yeah.
I had longer hair at one point, but like, yeah, that was bad. I feel like you were there for that.
I probably was.
You probably were.
We did a lot of dumb stuff together growing up, but I
did a lot of
don't
stupid
specifically remember that. Yeah, that would be painful. I do remember a time you tried to run out of your garage as the door was closing, and there was a dent on your head for quite a while too.
Did I ever tell you the story about how I backed out of the garage?
Oh yeah, your door, your little
car
Saturn door
open?
was just jacked up for a while.
Yep. Yeah, my dad was not pleased because it wasn't just my car door, but it was the railing. The track of the garage door got all jacked up too, and I think you had to pay somebody to come in and fix all that.
Yeah, I wasn't lucky enough to park in the garage as a kid, but
I was fortunate enough to do that, but that privilege almost got taken away.
I'm surprised it didn't
in that moment.
All right, well, this game, so I kind of have said my overall thoughts of this game. Really frustrating in the moment. The penalties suck. It's really, you want to kick a chair every third play, every time something bad happened. But like I said earlier, all that saying, it's not like the Vikings were totally out of their minds trying to play this titan of a team. They still were in it. They lost. It was an earned loss, but one that if they played this exact game a few more times, they probably win one or two more times. You know, so I don't think the Ravens were out of the Vikings league. I think the season is not doom and gloom just because of this one loss. Makes it more difficult, especially if as the rest of the NFC North keeps winning. Currently, the Packers are going into the fourth quarter with the Eagles, and the Eagles have a 3-0 lead. But of course,
is that going to be a 3-0 like Vikings over Raiders victory?
I don't know. I haven't seen any of it, but of course, by the time we post this game will be long over. But yeah, the Lions and Bears both won. The Packers are within winning distance of the Eagles right now. It's not going to be an easy season. And ultimately one that it really seems like the Vikings are going to miss out on the playoffs for. But there's a lot of good things, too. I mean, JJ, overall, it wasn't a good game for him. But he did show some flashes. That deep ball early in the game to Jalen Naylor, that was a beautiful ball. Perfectly placed and a perfect catch. The touchdown to Jalen Naylor. Initially, I thought maybe he had a better and easier throw to Justin Jefferson, but after watching that play a few times, I understand why he didn't throw to Jefferson. There's a defender kind of crashing down that could have been an interception, but the pass he did throw to Jalen Naylor for a touchdown was like insanely well thrown. There were a handful of poor decisions that he made, so you're going to get that with an inexperienced quarterback. I think a lot of Vikings fans see how Sam Darnold's playing right now. They see how Drake May's playing. They see how all these other young quarterbacks are playing, and they're thinking, man, JJ McCarthy's a bum. He's terrible. Fire everybody. Restart. I think it's really early for that. Kevin O'Connell's, he's an elite offensive mind, a really good coach. JJ McCarthy has shown flashes. I think the way things sit right at this moment, we're going to be okay. JJ's only 22 years old, and he's already shown things that most 22-year-old college-level quarterbacks could never even dream of doing. So
I think the thing with like Drake May and Bo Nix is you have to remember they played more games last year than JJ McCarthy didn't play a single game outside of the preseason. So they have starting regular season experience, and it wasn't great for them either. I think that's the other thing you have to remember is those two guys that came in in the same draft class as JJ McCarthy, struggled last year. Neither team was great.
Yeah,
I think the Broncos,
the Bo Nix, he looked pretty good.
The
They
Broncos
made the playoffs.
the Broncos were better. Yes, but the Patriots were terrible. Patriots were bad, and they fired
got
their
coach fired. Yeah,
they fired their coach. So and Vrabel, man, he's been the answer, and he's really unlocked. I wouldn't quite say Belichick era Patriots football, but like they're getting there. Like they're approaching that level of dominance again. And the Patriots will be interesting for a while because like I don't see guys like Stephon Diggs staying there for a while. He's such a flaky guy anyways, and like I think he's kind of the preferred target for Drake
for
May.
sure.
And the running back room is a question mark too. Like Ramondre Stevenson was their running back to start the season. I think he got hurt and is out, and so there's a big question mark at running back there too. So all that to say, I think like the Patriots have question marks. The Broncos have shown signs of weakness. They barely eked one out on Thursday night this past week. Their defense played really well.
Yeah,
their defense
Thursday games are always weird too.
Yeah, agreed. But all that to say, Drake May, Bo Nix, they played games last year and got meaningful experience, and it wasn't pretty necessarily for either of them. Bo Nix had the better outcome, made the playoffs, and then lost in the first round. But to your point, JJ McCarthy, it's going to take some time, and this was only his fourth start in the NFL. And we could sit here and complain. We could sit here and say, throw in the towel, get rid of him, get rid of the coach, get rid of Justin Jefferson, get rid of everybody, burn the whole place down, start over.
Too early.
Yeah, we can't do that. And that's not the way the NFL works either. Like, you can't just decide midway through the season that you want the number one draft pick.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Like, statistically, in numbers wise, it's not even realistic at this point. Like the Jets or the Browns or somebody's going to get that number one pick.
No,
even if the Vikings lose out.
Yeah,
like,
and really, if you're that demoralized, just think of the rest of this year as being development for JJ McCarthy. To go back to the other two quarterbacks we just mentioned, Drake May and Bo Nix. Drake May is like 4 months older than JJ McCarthy, which grand scheme of things, not much.
I'm 4 months older than you, basically.
But he was also widely considered one of the most pro-ready and developmentally ready quarterbacks coming out of college in 2024. At the time, people were still saying JJ McCarthy should be a second-round pick. They were saying Drake May could be first overall if Caleb Williams wasn't the guy. So no surprise that he's doing well with actually a good coach now. And then Bo Nix, he's 3 years older than JJ McCarthy with all that much more experience. Bo Nix playing very well. I don't think there's many teams that would be upset if Bo Nix was their quarterback with the way he's playing right now. But it's also not like he's MVP level yet. He's really good and maybe even inching towards Pro Bowl level. But he's also got 3 life years on JJ McCarthy. So give JJ some time. Give him some grace. With a young quarterback like this, you're going to see some ups and downs. What we want to see is what we are seeing. Some flashes. We're not seeing some accidental good passes. We're just seeing the occasional bad decision, which you're going to get with a 22-year-old kid who's still learning how to be an NFL quarterback. I'm still trying to keep a level head about this. I think this year is not going to be great, but the future, the horizon is coming.
And I think it's okay to be frustrated as Vikings fans when, especially when the hype was so big and felt so real. Like, it didn't feel like this fake superfluous, oh, well, every team gets excited in the preseason and then you start playing games and you realize how crappy your team actually is. Like, the hype was real. Like, it seemed like there was legitimate substance behind this team coming into the season. You have a second year, but basically rookie quarterback who had a year to sit, which is basically the Jordan Love treatment, right? Like, sat behind Sam Darnold, who balled out a year ago and got his big contract to play in Seattle. You brought in a running back that's going to help bolster the running game. You reinforced both the offensive and defensive line to really give you a shot in the trenches. Maybe noticeably, you're a little thin in the quarterback area, whatnot. But all that to say, it's not time to panic.
No.
Right? Like, let's let this season play out. Let's see what happens. And who knows? Maybe next year, we're really maybe the hype is real next year. Maybe the substance is there next year.
Yeah.
And all of this is just kind of, fuel to the fire for where the Vikings go next year.
What were we saying all offseason? This team is going to be scary. It's going to go as far as as long as JJ's at least good. Now he's getting towards good. I don't think he's necessarily firmly in that good category yet. We just haven't seen enough.
Yep.
He's been injured and, up and down when he's been on the field. Plus, there's been a lot of other injuries throughout the team that have the offensive line JJ's still not played with the preferred starting offensive line yet. We sound like excuse makers right now, but darn it, they are legitimate excuses. You can't have Andrew Van Ginkel go down for 5 however many games and expect the defense to still be at the level you want it to be. So this team has had some bumps and bruises, some speed bumps, but like you just said, the future is bright. This season may not be exactly what we wanted, but the future is bright. We're not saying, holy cow, they sold everything out for this 1 year and now it's not going to work out and the future is terrible. They don't have any draft picks or any money. Like they're going to be okay.
I still think the Vikings have kind of a win now roster.
Yeah.
You've got an older defensive line, you've got an older offensive line, and you paid a lot of money for those guys to come in. I think it's not necessarily win this season now, but it's win now, like within the next couple of years.
Yeah.
And you don't draft a quarterback that high anymore, right? When Jordan Love was drafted and Aaron Rodgers was still the quarterback, you didn't draft a young guy that high to win now, especially if you're the Packers and you're notorious for drafting and developing, and you've only started 4 quarterbacks in our lifetime, or 3 whatever it is, right? Like the Packers are just a different organization that way. But
Jordan Love is also 27, by the way, 5 full years older than JJ McCarthy.
That's crazy. So all that, the Vikings still have kind of a win now mentality, but it's a win now in the next couple of years, and that's why you go out and draft a guy as high as you did in JJ McCarthy. Like you don't bring in a young guy and say, well, we hope to win a championship in the next 10 years.
Exactly.
No, that's not how that works. We got another game to talk about.
Yeah,
this upcoming week.
Another divisional game.
The Vikings host the Bears. It's a divisional game.
No, I wrote that wrong on our outline. It's the Vikings do host the Bears.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like that's different.
Yep. No.
So it's the second home game in a row, which I think gives the Vikings a good advantage. Not game related, but next week we're going to have friend of the show Forrest on.
Yep, I've talked to friend of the show Forrest. I think I said it earlier,
on
an airplane with multiple. I took 4 flights with him this past week, and we took a good trip down to Florida. That was fun.
It's been a while since we've had Forrest on the show.
Yeah, but overdue to have Forrest on the show. Last time we did, we were live streaming during week 1 over the Vikings win, which earned JJ McCarthy NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Let's hope that magic is reignited here against the Bears. I looked it up. When the betting lines opened, the Vikings are 2.5-point favorites, which is interesting because the Bears are 6-3. They just had a really impressive comeback win against the Giants this past weekend, and I think it was in Chicago. The total over-under for this game is 48.5 points, which would be like, a 27-21 game, something like that. So, I think I'm surprised by this. I think Vegas, they creepily always know something about how these games are going to go, and I don't know. I'm just interested to see how this game works. Evan, what is your key to the Vikings beating the Bears this weekend?
Yeah, this kind of was maybe a key for me with the Ravens too. But you got to utilize that home field advantage. I think US Bank is such a great place to play, and Vikings fans, I think especially with the divisional game against the Bears, they're going to pour out and they're going to be there. They're going to fill the stands and they're going to be loud. It's a really loud place to play. I didn't realize this. I watched some video on US Bank Stadium. The dome, the Metrodome, was the field was street level. Mm-hmm. But when they built the new stadium, they dropped the field level just a little bit, like, I don't know, 10 feet or something like that. And that traps the noise.
Interesting.
In the stadium, even more so than the dome. And the dome was notoriously loud. Like
I still say the loudest place I've ever been was a Monday Night Football game, Vikings Patriots, on or the day before Halloween 2000 something. Moelde Moore had a punt return touchdown. The Patriots absolutely destroyed the Vikings. But at one point early on, it was just booming in there. I couldn't think that's how loud it was. So the Metrodome had its noise level.
I can't imagine what that place was like when Diggs caught the Minneapolis Miracle.
Well, that was in the bank.
In US Bank, is what I'm saying. Like
that video, though.
My parents were there, and I think that has to be one of the loudest moments in sports history. There's a bug in here, by the way.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah,
like
we are in a basement, by the way.
Ladybug or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, the home field advantage is the point here, right? Get momentum, keep that crowd engaged, keep them loud, keep them fired up when the Vikings are on defense. And I think if they can do that, and I think if they can get into the backfield and get to Caleb Williams a couple of times, I think that's the key to the victory right there.
Yeah. Interesting. They said on the TV broadcast against the Ravens, every time, at least this season, every time the Vikings have won the toss, they have elected to defer and receive the ball at halftime after, in the third quarter, which if you've got something, which I agree, get momentum and keep it. But if you're trying to get momentum early, you think maybe take the ball and try to score right away. And the Vikings game plan has seemed to be like, no, we'll let our defense handle it, and then we'll take the ball and get off to that start, which I think game theory wise, you can go either way.
Especially at home.
But
I maybe agree with you. Like, take the ball. If you win the toss, take the ball, and
especially if you're trying to prove something.
Yep.
Like, hey, we got a young guy. We need to just get some confidence here. Throw some high percentage pass plays. Actually, run the ball on 3rd and 1. You know,
the Vikings have a lot to prove. They're in last place in the division right now, and the Bears are ahead of them. So prove it.
Yeah. All right. My key to victory. You just got to play to the offensive strengths. Like I just said, run the ball when it makes sense to. Maybe a strength is to not false start on the worst possible times every play. And the best ways you can help a rookie quarterback, which he's not, and I'm annoyed whenever other people say it, and annoyed with myself right now for just saying
he's a redshirt rookie.
He's a young, inexperienced quarterback. The best way you can help him is to slow things down for him, simplify things. And if you can hand it off and gain 5 yards, that's 5 yards he didn't have to think about for one play. You know what I mean? Like, and if you have to false start and lose 5 yards, that's added pressure that you're putting on the quarterback's head. I think in his press conference, right after the game against the Ravens, he said something to the tune of, I'm the quarterback, and the quarterback's responsible for everything that happens on the field, and he's not wrong. So make it as easy as possible for him out there and play to his strengths, play to the offensive strengths. Aaron Jones is a really good running back when he's healthy, which he's been healthy a surprisingly high amount of times. Run the ball some more and get rid of the penalties. So those are my 2 keys to victory. Rushing the ball wherever it makes sense. Just be smart. You're at home. Brian O'Neill, a Pro Bowl right tackle, should not be false starting 3 times. Clean that stuff up.
All right, we need to wrap this up because I need to get this ball
it's really
untaped from my hands. And I also have to go to the bathroom. Who do you think wins, and what's the score?
I think this one's going to be a little bit of a comeback game for the Vikings. I think they're going to win. I think both offenses score a respectable amount of points. It'll be over that 48.5 point total. But I think the Vikings more than cover. They'll win 34-24.
Okay. I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum in terms of points and the over-under and all that. I still think the Vikings win.
Okay.
And I do think this is a bounce back for the Vikings. We'll say it that way. But I think it's close. The Bears have proven they're a decent team. They eked one out this last week.
They gritted one out. I think they...
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And they've done that a few times, like going back a couple weeks now against the Bengals. Like they had the Bengals basically dead to rights, and then the Bengals came back and scored 2 really quick touchdowns to get it back and tied it, and the Bears still figured out how to win that game. So I think this is a much closer game. And I think the Vikings win 20-19. I think both offenses struggle to score points. I think it's a defensive battle.
Interesting.
And I think it's kind of a boring game, honestly, when it comes down to like NFL football.
All right. Well, we both predicted a different kind. Oh,
I missed.
Oh, there's a bug flying right between us. That's
this
why
is really
we're going
entertaining.
Crazy. We both predicted a different kind of game.
Yes.
I'm kind of high scoring. You're kind of,
I'm on the lower end for an NFL
lowish
game.
Scoring game. But also for purple punishments reasons, this was my lock to win against the Bears. You predicted a win, but not your lock. But this was my lock. Either way, if the Vikings lose, we're both spinning. If they win, neither of us are spinning, and maybe we'll have to punish friend of the show Forrest. I don't know.
That would be great. I think we need to do a few things. First, we need to maybe kill this bug that's flying around in my basement.
You're a little concerned about this bug. You know they don't bite or anything, right?
I just want to kill it more than anything. He's out of reach.
I can't reach it.
I think the next thing we need to do is we need to tell people how great this beer was, because it's gone.
Yeah, we both finished all 3 of our beers here.
Yeah. So Bummer City from Five Cities and Back Pocket, I guess, gets some credit as well, because it looks like it was brewed there. Really good, easy drinking beer. I don't have much to say, not because it's a bad beer, but just because it's just it was a good beer.
It's definitely one you could mow the lawn and come back and have 10 or 12 of them. So
yeah,
really good. I would love to have this many more times again. Good job, Five Cities.
2 more things. One, where can people find us?
If you want to keep the conversation going, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, TikTok. If you want to send us an email, we are at theskolhop@gmail.com. We have a website, which is criminally under updated. So if you're a website developer and you want to update our website for us, let us know. Also, check us out on YouTube. We post everything on YouTube, shorts and everything too. So check us out there, like and subscribe. Don't forget to give us a comment. Don't forget to check out That's Badass Wood Art with promo code SKOLHOP, all one word, for 10% off any and all orders. Evan, did I miss anything there?
No, I think the last thing we need to do is we need a Skol with these, and we need to take these darn things off.
Yes, absolutely. All right, great episode, man.
Maybe best one yet.
Skol.
Skol. All right, let's get these things off our hands.